Have you ever said this? I'm getting older. That's just part of aging. Everyone my age has aches and pains. But what if you're experiencing isn't normal aging at all? What if your body has been sending warning signs that you've just been ignoring over the years? Well, today we're going to uncover one of the biggest myths in health. I'm Dr. Kareem, and I'd like to welcome you back to the Healing Wellness Show sponsored by Iowa Wellness Center. Today I'm joined by Mark, who's going to be asking me questions from the listeners and people in the community. Mark, welcome back. And whenever you're ready, you can shoot those questions.
Yeah, not a problem. Some of the questions that we're hearing a lot are about not just neuropathy, but what changes are actually normal with the aging process.
Well, normal aging may include you're just slightly slower in recovery, or I would say reduced flexibility, or gradual changes in your muscle mass. What isn't normal is losing sensation. What isn't normal is like that burning pain or numbness or the frequent falls or the balance problems. You start tripping. These are not normal.
Wow. When should someone become really concerned?
I would say they should start being concerned when it starts to affect their daily life. When these symptoms, say you've got something planned for the day, but because of the symptoms are flared up, that you're not doing it anymore. That's a warning sign there, or now you're used to doing a task and now you've got to take more breaks in between. That's another one. If you're changing how you're walking or you're avoiding activities, or you notice increase in symptoms like numbness or tingling or burning or even joint pain, like low back pain is getting increased, or that sciatic pain that shoots down. These are all signs of, hey, it's time to get evaluated because it is getting too late.
If you're changing how you walk, or say even avoiding activities, or even noticing numbness, it's worth getting evaluated?
Well, people wait so long because the symptoms often develop slowly. It's over time, right? So it could be, I don't know, 10 years ago, my numbness started, but it wasn't bad. I could walk through it and shake it off, and that made it better a little bit. But then 5 years down the road, now it's constant, but I could still deal with it. I could still do things, and then now it's, hey, I'm tripping more now. So it's just slowly developing over time, where now you've lost your sensation completely on the bottom, and now you can't tell the difference between what you're walking on. And now on even trains, you're tripping. And, so that's how it gets worse, is because you're seeing the slow gradual changes and feeling the slow gradual changes. But like I usually say, if it's someone like a friend that you haven't seen in years, they're going to see the difference because they've seen you, say, 3 years ago, and now you're maybe getting out of the seated position, and you got to use the handles, or you're shifty, and then now you're able to go. These are all small signs that, you need to get evaluated.
Okay. Now, what would you say are more of the common signs, though?
Common warning signs, I would say tingling, the numbness, burning feet or hands, or cold feet or hands. Visually, it's if your feet look, purplish or black. So discoloration, that is one indication. Or white, right? Fingers are white or toes are white. That's another indication. That's circulation. Numbness, balance issues. If you're starting to stumble, like I said, getting from a seated position to standing, or saying getting up off of a curb, and now you might want to hold onto your car, or walking down the hallway, you have to touch the wall, or you're in the shower and now you have to hold on while you're closing your eyes and putting shampoo on. These are all just common signs. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Can early intervention matter?
Absolutely. I mean, the sooner you can get it taken care of, the better and faster it'll heal, compared to someone that comes down the road and now that they're at 80% nerve damage or 90% nerve damage or even 100% nerve damage. Well, now it's too late. right? If you're at 90% nerve damage, you only have 10% left working for you, which we tend to see that because, and it's usually the males, they're so stubborn that they wait because they're trying to be macho, and they're not talking about their symptoms to others. They're not talking to their spouses, they're downplaying things, and now that they're not feeling and cutting themselves all the time or stubbing their toes all the time, that's where it gets bad. So the sooner you do it, the better.
All right. Dr. Mo, you always give us a good testimonial of certain people in the clinic. If you wouldn't mind giving us a really good one of recently, maybe.
Yeah, I've got plenty of them. I've got plenty of patients that are usually in their 70s and 80s that go, oh, I think because of my age, I'm having all these symptoms. And I tell them, age has nothing to do with it. My oldest patient is 98, and, he still loves life and he still wants to create memories with his family. When he first came into us, yeah, he was using a walker and he could barely walk, but his goal was, I wanted to create memories with my grandchildren and grandchildren. He was that funny guy that the kids loved him, the grandkids loved him, he loved to do things with them, but he wanted to continue creating these memories, and he didn't want to blame age. So that's when patients that come in that are in their 60s, 70s, 80s are saying, hey, I think this is because I'm getting old. I'm old this, I'm old that. And it's like, age has nothing to do with it. It's what have you done in the last few years that has caused this to come about. So let's dig in deep and get to the root cause to help improve your physical mobility and physical well-being.
Awesome. Getting evaluated early is smart.
Absolutely. You definitely want to get, the sooner you do it, the better, the quicker and the easier. So, quick key takeaways from today's episode. Number one, aging and neuropathy are not the same thing. Number two, numbness is never something to ignore. And number three, early evaluation can provide clarity and improvement quicker. So, little quick teaser for next episode. So next week, we're going to be discussing something that every neuropathy patient experiences, but few understand. And that is why neuropathy gets worse in the dark. So if this episode helped you in any way, I want you to take the next 10 seconds to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And again, it's because most people listening do tend to forget. But by subscribing, you're going to be helping us reach more people who are struggling and search for answers. Also, if someone you love is dealing with neuropathy, please share this episode with them today, because you never know whose life it might change. If this episode helped you understand your symptoms better, go ahead, subscribe, follow, and share this episode with someone, or say it's just getting older. Until next time, your body was designed to heal. Your health is worth fighting for, and healing starts with hope. I'm Dr. Kareem. Have a great day.